Brothers,
Yeah, bro, you good?
I'm good.
Yeah,
How are you guys doing?
we're good, bro.
Where are you guys from originally?
Friends.
France, La France.
Yeah.
All right.
Where you from?
Canada, Canada. Yeah. Before France, where's your roots?
For me, it's Côte d'Ivoire and Senegal.
Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal. And you?
Martinique.
I'm Martinique.
Martinique.
All right. I'm from Congo.
Congo?
Oh, nice.
Congo,
The Congo. Question for you guys. Y'all believe in God?
yeah, of course we do.
You do?
You do? I don't.
You don't? What's your view?
I don't think there is a God.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. What makes you say that? With everything you see, what makes you think there's no God? How can you think there's no God?
Everything I see.
Because of everything you see.
Yeah.
But what?
Too much disaster,
Okay.
poor people,
Okay.
too much events make me think that it's impossible
Okay.
that there is a God who let it happen.
I'll give you something to think about.
Okay, yeah.
I would have spoken in French, but I'm better in English. In my thinking.
I
English.
understand
Yeah, already.
Totally.
All right. Do you own a computer?
Yes.
A phone?
Yes.
Does it ever crash? Does it ever have glitches? Do you ever?
Yes.
It does. So the fact that your computer breaks down doesn't mean that it wasn't created. Doesn't mean that there's no one that actually put it together.
No.
Okay. So God created everything you see. The fact that there's trees, there's a designer. So example, you see this building? It has a door that opens specifically. It has a bathroom. You have to press a button for your dump to go away. That's specific order.
Yes.
There's an elevator. You can press floor 1, 2, or 3. It's specific. You could never look at this building and say, it just happened. Because it's so specific. It's so specific to different things. Certain things can't enter a certain way. So when you look at nature, it's too specific. Way too specific. Even the human body is way too specific to say
it's impossible that
it just so happened.
Like this.
It just so happened like this. So there is an architect. You see what I'm saying? Let's start there.
I see. Of course I see.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So there is an architect.
I don't think there is a God like God, but there is something.
Okay, so you call it something, but you just don't call it God.
Yes.
Okay.
I think because yes.
We're making progress. From the time I met you to now. Now we've gone from nothing to something, but maybe it's not God.
Yeah. But there is something happening. Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you about that something. Okay. We're gonna call it something for your sake.
Okay,
I call it God. I call him God. Okay.
Okay.
He created you and he created me.
Okay.
The one thing he created us for is to get to know him. Unfortunately, the reason why there is so much disaster is because people are not looking for him. People are looking for their own desires.
Okay.
People are looking for their own lusts. You see what I mean? God says love your neighbor, but human is unable to love his neighbor. So it's like a father. I'm a father. I don't know if you I'm sure you have parents.
Yeah.
Okay? One day they told you, hey, don't do this, because they knew this is dangerous. If you do this, you could probably lose your life. So they say, hey, don't do this, son.
Yeah.
But now it depends on you. You can say, you know what, dad has my best interest. So just because he said, I won't do it. Even though your desire is like, go. You're like, nah, just because dad said, I'm not gonna do it. So eventually, it would be a whole lot better for you just because you said, okay, God said not to do it. But human beings are like, oh, you know, that gold in Congo looks good.
Yes, you're gonna do it whatever.
We like the fight against the law.
Yeah. It's the lust that we have inside. So we can't help it. We all have it. It doesn't matter how good we think we are. We all have that same trait of evil.
Yes.
We all do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're a fine gentleman, but you're evil, my friend.
Of course. Everybody.
You have
of
desires
course.
and thoughts.
I know myself. Yeah.
Right. So we all have that. So now what was God's plan to help us? Do you know? Do you know what was God's plan to help us with our own evil? According to you, what do you think it is? What faith are you of? Or what do you believe?
I'm a Christian.
You are a Christian? Okay. God's plan to help us with our minds, our fall, our falleness, our sin, okay? He sent Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ came and died for yours and my sin.
Okay.
How do I know that? I don't know that because I sat at a church and somebody told me and I sat there and le pasteur il est là avec sa Bible, il dit écoutez, c'est bien en fait, c'est bien qu'il fasse ça,
Wow.
But, mais, moi, I'll say it in English, but my experience is this. One day I was at work, sitting down, it was a normal day like any other.
Okay.
I locked myself up in an office to read. While I'm reading, I heard a voice speak to me. I'm not drunk, I'm not intoxicated, because some people have asked me, Roy, were you on some substance? I say no, I was sober, I don't drink, smoke, so I was normal. But I heard a voice tell me a couple of sentences in less than a second. It's like a snap of a finger and I heard sentences. It said, Roy, you were going to hell. I was surprised too, bro, because I was a good person. I never wanted to hurt anybody. I was just a normal person, It said, you were going to hell. I'm taking you out of darkness into the light. Go home, tell your wife the truth, because 2 years before that, my wife and I went through marital issues. I was like, I don't want to be married anymore, man. Women, all they do is talk, man. I can't stand this. So I went ahead and found someone else that I was enjoying my time with,
Okay.
But in secret, you know what I mean? So this voice says, go home, tell your wife the truth about your infidelity, which I would never do. I would never have done it. I would never tell anyone I was a player. You know what I mean? I would never say that. You know what I mean? I would hide it and keep moving. So the voice says, go home, tell your wife the truth. Don't only tell your wife, tell everyone else. So I jumped because I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, what the
I would never tell my wife, and more, I would never tell people. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Long story short, I go home that night. I tell my wife, I need to talk to you. I tell her I was unfaithful. She thought it was a bad joke because she never thought I could do something like that. I was a good actor, I could cover things up. I was better than Will Smith in acting,
I see.
So anyways, I tell her, she gets upset when she asks me who it was. I tell her the name of the person. She also had met her, so she kind of knew her.
Okay, yeah.
So even more anger, So she hits me, I'm gonna kill her. What I see from my view, as soon as she says I'm gonna kill her, she jumps back, drops her arms, looks up, and goes dead quiet. So I got afraid because I'm like, whoa, what is this? You can't go from 100 degrees to minus 20,
Yeah.
So I'm shaking her, hey babe, are you okay? Like, talk, I'm sorry, man, say something. She says, I'm okay, Roy, calm down. I'm trying to figure out what happened. I'm like, babe, you were upset. You have every right to be upset. Don't try to cover it up. She says, no, Roy, I don't have anything against you. Calm down. I'm trying to figure out what happened. So I'm like, what? You don't have anything? What? I'm like, what's going on? She's like, right when I said I'm gonna kill her, I heard a voice tell me you shall not kill. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. And in my heart, I said, well, God, forgive me. I don't want to kill anyone. And she says, the moment she said that in her heart, every pain, anger, strife, hurt, gone. Gone the same second. So she was frozen trying to figure out, where's my anger? Like, what's going on?
I don't understand what is happening.
Yeah, she didn't understand what was happening. So when she tells me this, I'm like, babe, are you serious? She's like, Roy, I'm okay, man. I don't have anything against you. And then I tell her, I'm like, babe, do you know why I came home to tell you that I was unfaithful? She's like, no. I'm like, I was at work and I heard a voice tell me to come and tell you. So she's like, no. I'm like, babe,
there is no way.
I never would have told you. I don't care if somebody held a gun to I never would have told you. You know what I mean? So from there kind of started our search to find out what on earth was that. And then when we started searching, we found a lot of those answers in the Bible, where God talks about forgiving your neighbor, loving your neighbor, loving your enemies, all those things. And how what his plan for marriage is. His plan for marriage is one man, one woman. But man can't do that. You know what I mean? We can't do that. We see all these beautiful women in Korea, we're like, ooh. And especially here, man, they're so free and open, man.
Yeah,
they're so open here.
Yes.
I've been here since Friday and I'm like, wow, this is...
Friday, okay.
This is, they're so open over here. So, God has a plan. He asks people to live a certain way, but we go after our own lusts, and that's what happens. So his plan to help us is actually to ask him to forgive our sin. because we cannot keep his ways by our own selves. And you ask God, forgive me for my sins, and ask him to send his spirit, because God is spirit, we can't see him. Ask him to send his spirit into your heart, and when he'll do that, when he reveals himself to you, your heart will be transformed.
Okay.
You won't be, and this is where I encourage Christian brothers, okay? You won't be a Christian brother that simply, let's say, goes to church and does the things we call Christian, but our heart is not changed.
Okay.
That's not what I'm calling to. I'm not calling you to go to a church, a specific denomination, or a certain pastor, or seek your relationship with God, read your Bible, and follow what he says.
Okay.
Not what a man will tell you. I don't care even if I'm like, you look up to me and I'm telling you, hey, do this, look at what God says. At the end of the day, you got to search for yourself. Because I could mistaken myself. I could get greedy and start seeking things of this world and start derooting you. And a lot of that is happening in the Christian world, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but I have to be honest with you.
Totally understand.
You know what I mean?